Just don't crash, because that would be... Oh, did I speak too soon? I literally turn around and you're in pieces. Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. So today I'm joined by Murloc, and we're taking a look at his Osprey. Now, you guys were really quite fascinated by this. When we were taking a look around it in the latest video with the dogfighting and whatnot, he managed to deploy a Rover, and it was all quite crazy and hectic. So I thought I'd grab him, and we'd take a look around it. So I'll pop some characters so you know what we're looking at. So what was your overall inspiration for this? I know it's quite obvious, but what were you trying to achieve when you were building it?
Well, the inspiration comes from the real-world Osprey, obviously. I adapted this one to space engineers, fit the role of both cargo vehicle and personnel transporter. I wanted a utility vehicle that could fulfill all of the roles I wanted it to do.
And I see that you've not been tempted to stick missile launchers on it or something. You've managed to keep it purely utility usage. Will missile launchers come in the future, Murloc?
Well, they could come. I've been contemplating putting either a Gatling stock missile launchers or maybe a Gatling turret onto it. I've been avoiding it for the aesthetics, and it really doesn't do well in the fight. It's not a fighting vehicle, it's a transport vehicle. And so I feel putting weapons on it would tempt me to do bad decisions.
Right, okay, so let's have a quick look. So as you can see with the characters as well, we are quite small compared to it. The scale of this thing is much bigger than it would be, but that's of course fitting it to the Space Engineers characters. And you've gone with these wheels like this instead of flat wheels. Any particular reason, or is it just to absorb the impact because it just land quite hard?
They absorb the impact quite nicely, and it's a set of wheels I'm more familiar with than the modded ones.
So then we've got the ramp around the back. And how do you access this ramp from outside? Is there a button pad? Oh, is it in the bush?
Yeah, it's in the bush.
Oh.
There is a keep out back here. Yeah.
So you've done the same again with the wheels at the bottom, tried to absorb the impact so your ramp doesn't break off, and that seems to work quite well. Let's step ourselves inside. So you've got a nice little bit of blue ambient lighting. And what are these here? Are these Is this just for looks, or is this solving a purpose?
Oh, these are actually the wheel suspensions.
Oh, so they're sticking up through the floor. I was wondering what they were doing in here. Silly me. And you've got seating. How many does this manage to seat then?
8 seats plus 2 in the Rover and the pilot on top of it, so 11 total.
And were you keeping this, when you were in the event, were you keeping all these lockers loaded with extra ammunition? And was this working as like a bit of a respawn point, I guess, because of the survival kit?
It was working as a respawn point. We saw one infantryman come out of this for a second landing with ammo for a Rover. But for the event, the main load of ammo and weapons were in the Rover.
And this is the main bridge. There isn't any hidden secret ones. This is just the main one, is it?
Yeah, just the one. I was tempted to make 2 seats. But I got lazy.
Right, let's attempt to load that Rover up anyhow, and then we'll take it for a little bit of a test drive. So there's Conrad narrowly missing the terrain as he's learning to pilot a thing in the distance. Very nice work there, Conrad, unlike the last one you binned.
Thank you. That doesn't happen.
There's not just a massive crackdown there for something that happened. So talk us a little bit about the Rover as you're loading it in anyway, Murloc.
Oh, yeah, I can do. The Rover pretty much came as we needed something that could support several factions spawning at the same time. We were often doing joint faction operations, especially against other factions.
Yeah. And
we had the issue of having to share these spawns with everyone, which put us at risk of having the enemy team spawn on us.
Okay. So that stops them from accidentally spawning inside the Osprey if they've got something like that to spawn on.
Yeah, this thing holds 4 survival kits, which means I can give 1 survival kit to each participating faction. Yeah, up to 4 factions.
Quite
so
smart.
Instead of
so you would just park that up then next to the objective area, and you just keep the infantry flowing in from it from the various different factions. So it was specifically built to fit in here, or was this a vehicle you had beforehand?
No, I built it to fit.
Oh, very nice indeed. Conrad, if you'd like to come and land and mount up in this Rover, let's seal up the door, and Joe can take this thing into flight. Now, there's a lot that I think Joe is considering when he's lifting this up. He's got to adjust how much thrust is going to the engines, haven't you, to get a nice smooth lift off since they're attached on the rotors?
Yeah, the engines are controlled using the override feature. And same with the real-life helicopter. It's adjusted depending on how much weight you're carrying, how much throttle you need.
Very nice indeed. So if you did do, are you going to build any more things for inside of it? I don't know if you want to head to the cockpit now in preparation for Conrad, but are you going to add any more modules, like a cargo module or maybe like a refinery type deal? If you can fit it.
Not so much been considering a refinery type. Right now it does pretty much all it needs to do. I have a mining vehicle that fits in here as well.
Ooh, I might have to see that if you've got a blueprint of it as well.
I do. I'm not really tested too much.
Alright, well, we'll have a look at that after. Conrad's coming in for a landing. Fingers crossed he's going to be alright. Oh, he's lost an engine in the process. Obviously, Conrad's only had about 5 minutes worth of practice flying this thing. So come, get your butt over here. We need to get in this thing.
It's still landed. I just don't have it.
So you can adjust this in flight as well, can't you, a lot?
Yeah, the rotors are preset with 2 angles, like straight up and then almost straight forward.
And as you adjust, as you're adjusting it forward, do you feel it start to pull you in that direction very quickly, or?
No, it goes gradually, so it's a quite nice transition actually.
Very nice, very nice. We've got Conrad loading up in the back here. He's about to step up in the ramp. Jump into that vehicle and we'll get Murloc to drop you off somewhere. Because when we saw people jumping out of this, it looked awesome. I mean, when you loaded the half-broken Rover up inside, I was very concerned. But it seemed to go well. Right, let's fire this thing up, Murloc, and get into the air. Do you want to just pick a landing site somewhere else in the sun direction and we'll put it over there?
Yeah, point towards the sun.
Yeah, just head towards the sun, take this off. Because I noticed when you were coming in to land and take off, it was really fine adjustments you were doing.
Yeah, it takes a bit getting used to with the different sim speeds and so on. It's all a bit different.
Here we go.
It is very, like, trying to get it just to slowly come down. It's a wee bit finicky, but it's pretty fun to drive. Even though I've only had 5 minutes trying to practice with it.
There we go. And can you feel the difference between when you have the Rover in and when you don't?
Yeah, with the Rover out, it lifts off on the 2.3 meganewtons. I mean 2.2 meganewtons. With the Rover in, I need to go up to 2.3, so there is a difference.
And have you got any sort of countermeasures on this in case you do get intercepted on the server, or are you just hoping on getting out of there as fast as you can?
We did do a bit of practicing with lowering the hatch in flight and having the Rover able to shoot out the back. But beyond that, no, we don't really have much.
Right, pick a landing spot anyway ahead. I think there's a flat area up on the right or just in between these trees if you want to try to do it. I don't know if you have to slow yourself down and bring yourself back around.
You can go on the right there.
Oh, I see some air brake usage. Very nice. What's Conrad doing? You're not shooting through the door, are you? Don't misbehave. So air brakes are down, rotors are coming up. And what are you doing with the throttle now? You're just slowly decreasing it? Or are you just feathering it?
I decrease it to, like initially I decrease it in order to descend. And then I try to balance it. I have to balance it between the right above descending and actually descending. Control the speeds. It doesn't have these smooth...
And can you lower the ramp as well, from the cockpit?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see that ramp drop. Right, Conrad, I want you to drive out, head somewhere else, and let Murloc pick you up. Oh, yes, that's awesome. Right, let's get you back in the air, Murloc. Right, Conrad, can you communicate with Murloc and see if you can get a pickup from somewhere else? I don't know where you want it. Make it easy for him, because I know it's hard to land this big thing on a remote hilltop. You're going to spin it around, Murloc, so he can drive straight in. Oh, he can't drive in, though. He's got a reverse, hasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you thought of adding one on the front, just in case, so you can drive or reverse out?
I could. I didn't add on the front, as I assumed the front would be taking a few bullet hits.
Oh, yeah, true. Oh, look at that, right between the trees. And Conrad's even hit one.
Someone's got knocked out of the tree. Kind of be that for a fall.
Here we go, he's feathering the throttle and he's down. So what do you do with the wheels there? Do you lock them up so the friction's on maximum so that they just hold you in place?
No, the friction at 20%. That lets me do a running takeoff should the weight to be too heavy to do a normal takeoff.
Alright, here we go, Conrad, it's down to you to line it up. I've heard you've got some experience with heavy machinery, so it should be easy. There we go. Lovely. Just got to get that landing gear connected. Oh, come on, give it some, Conrad. Yes. And there we go. One little lock, and you should be good, Conrad. Ramps up, and we're back in the air. So is there anything else you wanted to show us with this particular design, Murloc, or is that about it?
That's about it. We can always do the drop the ramp in flight and have Conrad shoot out.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's drop the ramp and see if we can send him, you know, out. So if you travel across one of these lakes really fast, Murloc, and we'll see if we can drop him out at high speed and he'll survive.
Oh yeah, you want to do one of those?
Yeah, let's do one of them. There's a lake over to your right if you just start banking into it. I think that's actually the ocean.
That's my diving skills, aren't they?
Well, the only thing you need to do, Conrad, is land very flat.
You've got to drive it straight as the vehicle's moving. That is hard.
Right. So so remember, don't travel at 100 meters a second, Murloc, because I don't think you'll be able to do it.
No.
Oh, it's a bit to your left, Murloc, because that lake's longer, I think. Yeah, there you go.
I'm aiming on this small Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, perfect. Right, are you getting ready for that low altitude? Tell him when to drop it.
Yeah. Can I get a bit lower, Conrads? Once you see the ramp goes down, you can go out.
I'm going. As soon as I see the ramp go, I go.
Just don't go into the...
Well, there you go.
Oh, come on, land. Oh, lovely. Oh, that's great. Thanks, Murloc, for showing us this. I know the community was quite excited about it when they saw it the other day. It's lovely to see some creations like this. I'm going to try to spotlight some more of the creations that we're seeing on the server on a one-on-one sort of basis. But I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.